So I think we're all ready to go. Thank you so much for joining us at this Lean Library Festival. I'll try and move my camera so you can see my colleague Daniel as well. So in terms of our agenda for the day, first off, I wanted to introduce you to our team. So we're very fortunate to have been able to get the Lean Library team together here in the UK. We're going to be together over the next few days in the Cotswolds, talking a little bit about our roadmap for the next year and our plans for the future. So we have colleagues over from the Netherlands and from various parts of the UK. And here is the team. So I'm Matt, I'm the Managing Director of Lean Library. Sat with me is Daniel, our Head of Product. And also we are joined by, they all come in now. You'll see them all behind me. We've got, we have, put this down so I can see you all. So we have David Bright, our product owner in Daniel's team. So David joined us last year, and David has been really helping Daniel move forward our product. And so hopefully you've noticed in the past 12 months, a pretty dramatic acceleration in the pace of our development. We're also joined by Kusal, who's just here, and Claire. Kusal and Claire are in our implementation team, and they're going to be on hand all afternoon. If you have any implementation queries, just put your email address and the query in the chat, and they will reach out to you and set up a separate Teams meeting. We're all together, so they can take that offline at any moment of the day. Sadly, Mark Sinclair and Denise Brage can't join us today due to travel restrictions, but they'll be dialing in. They're from our team in North America. However, we have Nicola Langford, our Head of Development for International. Tim Burke, our Development Manager for Australia, also couldn't join us. As you can understand, it's a very difficult time zone for him. But we have Adam here as well. And Adam and Nicola will be sharing a couple of sessions later on around best practices for promoting Lean Library, but also a user group session to get your ideas and feedback. Andy Hales and Benjamin Holloway will be joining us later from our technology team. And we're also joined by Fidel, who's just here, who's our Head of Finance, making sure that we keep on track of the numbers, and also Fiona Henry, who, so Fiona is our Growth and Engagement Manager, heads up all of our marketing and our sales operations. So it's the person to get help from if you have any questions about improving social media presence or helping to promote the browser extension. And Fiona is also going to be monitoring the chat for any queries as we go along. So thanks very much, team. So they are, I'll show you where we are. They are going to be on hand in this village hall in the middle of the Cotswolds. So so they really are here on site, and we hope that you see this as a very informal opportunity to ask them any questions as well. And we are delighted to host separate breakout sessions if you have any particular queries. You know, it's very rare for us all to be together in one room, so I hope you get to benefit from that as much as possible. I'm going to pause for a second there just to see if there's been any questions as we go through. Actually, Ali has very kindly complimented us on our team hoodies, and that's a great reminder for me to say that we want you guys to have as much Lean Library merchandise as possible. So if you like what you see, so Daniel, I'm going to show you the hoodie. Daniel is showcasing. So this is our, and in the back. So Daniel's showing you our team hoodie there. Has our values on the back as well, being pioneering, persevering, collaborative, and organized. But we also have t-shirts and hoodies for librarians and for library patrons as well. I am not wearing one at the moment, but the librarian one says, "This librarian has your back." And the library patron one says, "My librarian has your back." So yeah, please do just ask us if you'd like any of those. And I'm afraid it does take a bit of time these days with pandemic related issues in terms of delivery, but we would love to make sure that we're taking care of you and you've got some of our swag. So with that being said, let me go through our agenda. So in addition to just having introduced you to the team now, I'm just going to say a little bit more about Lean Library as a company, a little bit of work we've done on reframing our mission, and give you some sense of what we're focused on for the future. And then I'm going to hand over to Daniel, who's going to give you an introduction to Lean Library Futures. We're trying to keep it as succinct as possible so that when we've recorded this as well, you have an easy reference point to come back to, and so that you can also share it with colleagues that weren't able to join us today. In addition to showcasing what Lean Library Futures can do, Daniel is also going to take you through the roadmap. And if we have time for questions at the end, we would also love to take them. If we don't, please do drop us a note in the chat or separately, because we'd love to hear your feedback, particularly around features and integrations that you'd like to see in the service. Then Nicola and Adam, as I was mentioning earlier, are going to help with NHS Lanarkshire chair a user session to share some feedback and insights on how you're using Lean Library and ideas for the future. That will be followed by another session chaired by Erasmus University, which will look at promotion tips and tricks and how we really get the browser extension downloads up within an institution, so you make sure you're making the most out of Lean Library. Then we are going to be joined by some of our key integration partners this year. So colleagues from Site, Ex Libris, SpringShare and EBSCO will be talking about their integrations with Lean Library, some of the benefits, and in some cases some plans for the future as well. Then we'll have a repeat session on Lean Library Futures, which is intended to capture West Coast time zones. So good moment to step away for a cup of tea if you've already got everything you need to out of the first session. And then finally, we're going to have a session on integrations for our service provider partners and publishers. So answering their questions about what we need from them to integrate and the kind of approach that we take. And as mentioned at the outset, concurrent to all this is an implementation surgery. So if you have any questions on implementing Lean Library, from the technical to the promotional, please just put those questions in the chat. And if it's a technical question, please put your email address in to the panelists, and we will make sure that Kusal and Claire set up a separate Teams meeting with you to run through your issues or your questions. So I'd like to begin just by sharing with you a video which gives you good insight into Lean Library's plans for the future and for the current year.
This is your patron, and this is their workflow. And off they go on their exciting journeys of discovery and learning. But getting to what they need takes your patron outside their workflow, bouncing them around from one site to another, making access difficult and time-consuming. You want to help them, but how? By putting the librarian in the workflow. With Lean Library, you can bring your library into your patrons' workflows, giving them instant access to library services, resources, and support, helping them reach their goals. Lean Library. Take your library to your patrons.
So we're very proud of that video. It's something that we worked on as a team at the start of the year, and it's really helped frame what we think Lean Library should be all about for the future. So our original founder was very clear that Lean Library was about trying to bring the library into the patrons' workflow. It wasn't just about that access problem that we have historically addressed, we think, very well. And so as a result of that, that's why in the future with our product developments, you'll see a focus, as with Lean Library Futures, but as with other new initiatives to come, on trying to find new ways of taking the library into the patrons' workflow, which we believe is particularly pertinent in the kind of digital first era that we're now in, and of course accelerated by the last year and a half. So our refined mission at Lean Library is to help redefine and amplify the power of the academic library to advance student learning and researcher impact. And that's what we want to help support libraries and librarians with. And of course, as I'm sure you would also say, that's the key end goal here, is to promote learning outcomes and discovery. In terms of helping to redefine the role of the library, we've been working on a white paper this year, which many of you have kindly contributed to in terms of our survey of librarians and patrons. We've had we've had around 4,000 responses to date across librarians, researchers, undergraduates, faculty, and university administration. And we are reviewing the survey results at the moment and writing up our report, which we're going to be publishing at the beginning of November. Please do sign up for the report on our website, or also at that direct link, and you'll be sent a free copy as soon as the report is ready. The idea of our report here is to really try and take forward that library discourse around how we get the library into the life of the user, and what that might mean for librarians and for the services and the resources that the library invests its time and resources into. In terms of amplifying the role of the library, it's a good moment for me just to do a refresher or an introduction, if you're new to Lean Library, on our product range. So we have three main products at the moment. Lean Library Access is our core access solution, and that is the product that we launched in late 2016 and that emanated from librarians out of the Netherlands and from our original founder. And this helps provide quick and easy access to patrons to library resources off campus. And it also includes open access alternatives, as well as the ability to bring library messages into users' workflows via our browser extension pop-ups. Then on the right-hand side, we have Lean Library Futures, and this is what we're going to be talking about today. This is our new premium service that includes all of Lean Library Access, but also new integrations that bring popular library services and tools into our browser extension. A good example being the library's discovery service, or SpringShare's Libguides, library chat, and so on. In between the two, we have a special partnership with SpringShare, where we've launched a bundle called Workflow for Libguides. This allows you to get the core access functionality of Lean Library, combined with the ability to bring your SpringShare portfolio of tools into the browser extension and into your user's workflow, without having to subscribe to the entirety of Lean Library Futures.